Shut up and sit down.
Hello gang, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and welcome to my latest build. Yes folks, Festa's doing a mobile suit. Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Yes, it is the NZ-666 Kshatriya, and it is a prototype mobile suit for a new type, and it's a Gundam, and yeah, beautiful kit by the guys over at Bandai. So we'll have a quick looky-loo, folks, to see what you get. You've got a really nice set of instructions, so we can have a perusal at them. And on the front there's the finished kit that they would like you to build out the box, but yeah, it's me. And as you may have seen in the thumbnail, I'm steampunking it. But you've got all the different assemblies listed in the instructions there. So you can do these in sections. Things like the upper arm, the middle of the arm, the hand, leg, knee joints, that sort of thing. So it's all crisply laid out. But what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to be putting it on a wall-mounted stand that I've printed in a pose, looking rather suave. I'll see what it's like when it's built, but I may fix it in that pose. So don't be too surprised if you see me at a later point gluing the joints up. It's purely because I'm going to have it posed in a specific way. There's loads of options on the back there on what you can have as a pose. So yeah, first things first, as you can see, everything's in its individual bags. You've got like body panels and things. I'm going to be adding additional seam lines, raised panels, that sort of thing to this. This is all your joints. And thing to remember with Bandai plastic is anything that is enamel based will eat into it. So just keep an eye on that, peeps. But you've got all your different moulded joints. All your external body panels. What else have we got in here? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I've got me, this is what I'm going to be using to do all my seams with, folks. It's a seam scraper and some guide tape, and you just run the tape along the piece where you want it, and then I can then scribe along it with the panel scriber. You can use Dymo tape. I've also got the Tamiya scriber, so they're all going to come out when it comes to doing it. You've got chest inner frame for the inner assembly of the Gundam. Mobile suit, should I say. Boxes just fell over. All your different additional external panels. Being that it's steampunk, there's going to be brasses, there's going to be copper, there's going to be rivets, and there's going to be wood. Yes, folks, there is going to be wood. Because it's steampunk, isn't it? Steampunk wouldn't be steampunk unless you had some dark varnished wood somewhere on the build. So there are going to be some of that. And then I've got 4 of these bad boys to modify because they're in a closed position. And I kind of, as you know, I like to do things slightly differently. So I am going to open them up a little bit so that they can display a certain way. So hopefully you'll like what my plan is for that. But yeah, it's quite a bit of modifying on them. So that'll be its own episode later on in the build for that. And then obviously I've got all my steampunk goodies that have been kindly donated by Gross Models Chris, and also Helgum35 Tony Fairclough. So big bags of all kinds of sprockets, springs and goodies are there. So these are all going to go around the kit in various places. And I've got just out of shot there, let's bring this into shot. I've also got the tub of springness that Tony sent me. which is there. Oh, yeah, I know. So we've got all of those to add. I say all of them, as many of them as possible. So we'll get that all figured out and worked out where things are going to go. So I shall be doing quite a lot of messing around with them. So I'll keep them in the bag of safeness, just so that I don't lose them. What else have we got? Let's have a look in the box. Because we got all the guide stuff to do to make all the panels. So these sections here, now they're moulded as one piece in the kit like that. That's what you get. I think in the perfect grade, or the next one up, these open. Well, I kind of want these ones to open, really. So I've used one as an example, and it's going to open something like that, just to expose the bombs that are inside. And then these thick green lines are going to be what I use to make the raised panels and also do some scribing with. So I've lined one of them out so that I can lay the tape over it, draw on the tape with a pencil the shape I want, and then transfer that to the other three, and then I come back to this one and do to it what I've done to the others. So that's why I only mark out one of these. I use it as a template. So it's nice and prominent. I can see them lines through the tape, and that's what I need. And I've got flexible styrene there that will make some of the raised panels with. So I'm looking forward to that. And I might even, I might even make some ailerons with it that are already adjusted. So I need to just think about whether or not I have a few of them sort of flapped over. So yeah, I'll have a play and see what you think, but maybe something like that, just have a few of them in an open position, just to give it a bit of dimension. All of the bombs and the missiles are going to be exposed so that you can see them. I've got some rivets that I want to create as well. So I've got a big box of pins with bulbous heads, and I've also got different length drinking straws with concertinas in, because I want to have the concertina almost where the panel's opened, there to be a concertina where all the cables and all of that lot would live. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. So there's quite a bit of scope with this build. So hopefully you'll get to enjoy what the plan is. It's all kind of up in the air still with how the steampunk effect's going to be achieved, but I've kind of got a base in my head now of what I'm after. So I shall go through and remove all the bits from the sprues into these compartments, and you can grab these off of the river, and as I cut the pieces out for the section, you'll have like the hand, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm, the foot, the lower leg, the knee, that sort of thing. You've got it. Torso, head, and I should do that for left and right, so that we keep these pieces for each section together. And then as I then come to the instructions, I'll be able to see what bits I need to assemble. I shall build the inner frame first and get that all assembled and posed, and then I shall come back and then take out all the external body panels and start doing all the scribing and the panel lines, and I shall film one arm, one leg, and one of the wings, and then the others I shall just do off camera as a time lapse. Because once I've built an arm and a leg, you'll get the idea. You're only mirroring what I've done in that episode. We can then come back and assemble it, put all the tubing on and wiring and all of that once it's assembled. So there's a fair old modification to go on this, but I'm really looking forward to this build, and I've had some really nice feedback already just at the idea of this. So hopefully you like what I do. Hopefully the Gundam community can appreciate what I'm doing and the direction I've chosen to go. It's just my interpretation is all. So we'll cut these bits off. So I'll just throw the instructions at the back. We'll start separating out bits and pieces now into the compartments. Like so. And it is literally, I'm not denubbing at this stage. I am literally using my first nips to get stuff off the sprues. And then I shall come back at this tray off camera and I'll go around and denub and sand all the nubs off, and it'll be just a straightforward cutting it back as flush to the plastic with me super nippers and smoothing out with a sanding stick. So we'll speed through this and get these all off, and it is get the numbers, cut them off the sprues, drop them into your compartment and work your way through what you're doing. And it gives you an opportunity as well, just especially what I'm doing at the moment as I'm cutting these off. I'm already beginning to think, well, this one I'll have a few extra rivets on it. This one might have a cable coming out of it, so we'll need drilling, and just gives me a chance to explore the possibilities with the pieces as I'm handling them. And I should be doing the same when I do me sanding and denubbing. I should be examining it, looking where it goes on the instructions, and building a picture in my mind of how that piece is going to fit into the build. What would it need to function? Would it need hydraulics? Would it need electrics? Would it need a chain, a sprocket? So, and it's fun. It's fun to just explore the realms of the possibilities with this. If you want a bit of inspiration for this type of thing, there's an old movie you can watch called Wild Wild West. Have a look at some of the steampunk engineering in some of the machinery in that movie. And if you like me and do like the whole steampunk genre, it can be quite inspiring to see how quirky some of these contraptions were. And it's that British mentality we all have. We're all sort of shedonistas almost, men in sheds concocting all this weird tomfoolery and gadgetry just to achieve something basic. And I like that. I like that about the steampunk theme. It's almost like bringing back clockwork toys. It's just mechanical, and I enjoy it. I mean, this chest piece and back piece I'm looking at, I'm like already thinking, yeah, the shield shape at the top there, that'll have a grille in it, so that's got to have sections removed and mesh put in, and then it'll have a frame around it that's riveted, so my brain is already seeing how that piece is going to come together. So this stage is what I enjoy the most, the planning and preparation and thinking stage. And then you see your concepts starting to come alive almost, and I enjoy that. It's a bit like the 3D printing when I do something on Blender and create it, and then suddenly you've got that in your software and then it's coming out the printer. And it's similar to this. I've got the idea in my head, and this is the stage where I figure out how to execute it. So we'll carry on cutting these off. If there's little ideas that you would like to see me try and incorporate into this build, use the comment section under the video. You know, if you've got any questions about this build as to, you know, where I got the idea from, or you know, the type of concept I'm going for, just ask me the questions, and it might be something that you fancy having to go at yourself. So have a think. You know, if this video series releases your inner creativity, then it's got to be worth doing. It's got to be worth your while having a play, because we've all got a creative side to us that we need to explore. And if this encourages that, then it's worthwhile. So we'll carry on doing all the joints. Got some elbows, got some knee joints there. Get them all going. This actually is the wing joints, Colin, if I remember rightly. Goes on top of the shoulder blades. So, yeah, there's 4 of them bad boys. We'll get all of the bits for them in one tub, because it's just replicating them shapes. So we'll get all of those together, keep them running. Like so. Yeah, there's another bit there. Yeah, grab those. Might as well put them all in there, because there's all the different halves, because they're handed. So just grab all of those. What other joints are there on there? Yeah, we'll have them, because they're part of it. Just double check to make sure that there's no other bits on there that I'm going to need. Them 2 bits there look like they go on there, so we'll have them. I'm just looking at the instructions I've got rested at the back there, just to double check on this. The piece there. Grab that. I think that's that one done, because we've got a mirror sprue with the same pieces on, so you've got 2 of the same sprue now. I think we've got this on a couple of the sprues, so you will have a duplication. It's only so that it gives you all these bits and bobs, so you might end up not using some of the bits on there, but hey, it's stuff for the Greebles box, peeps. All helps. All helps. If you've got stuff for the Greebles box after this build, yeah, it's beneficial. So we'll just whiz through and get these bits off, just like that. Grab that off of there, and the same with these bits and bobs. So I'm going to be ordering in some chain as well. I think we need a bit of chain going around in a few places, so I shall get some brass chain. I've got some brass wire and things, but I just want to see what we can get going on around this build, just to embellish it a bit. So I'm still getting bits and pieces for this build ready for future episodes, so it'll just keep the theme going. So I'll grab these bits off of there. Where's the other sprue? That's the one there. So I'll grab that whilst I remember. Put those in that corner. Yeah, we need that. So I've got the upper arm going in. Do the same on that side. And it's just a matter of working down the compartment box then. And these are an asset. If any of you out there are doing Gundam, grab yourself one of these. And you will notice that I persuade most of the parts to fit. Just carry on, work my way around there. Grab the bits from that one. I think that's it there, yeah. Grab that off of there. And then start getting some of these out panels. And these are the ones that I'm focusing on as I'm trimming them off. They're the ones that are going to be modified. Anything green, basically, is going to be modified. Somebody in the frame is going to have holes drilled in it to mount cogs and sprockets and stuff like that. There's going to be holes drilled in it for copper tubes, pipes, wires, hydraulic pipes, anything like that. Well, say hydraulic pipes, going to be mechanical fluids of whatever going through. So yeah, trying to figure out as well. I've got to make chimney stacks, so they're going to come out of the back of the model. So I'll need to look at the back piece of that and see what area I've got to cobble together almost like a manifold, and then have these sort of chimney pipes coming up the back that are going to be all sort of soot deposited and yeah. So again, you know, little details like that I need to figure out how to do them, how to place them so that they look like they're serving a purpose for the actual object. So yeah, it's fun times with this. It really is that sort of letting yourself go build. So I'll just get the poly caps off as well that I need to attach that. And then just quickly scour the sprue just to see what else on there I need. I need that off of there to mirror what I've just done. I need the hand with the thumb for that one. Back of the palm and the fingers. And then obviously it'll be the same for the other side, so I'll just bung that sprue over there for now. And then we can get the protection shield for the hand there. And then start doing the same on the other side. Because once you've done one, you're just basically mirroring what you've done already on the other side. So I might as well just scoot them all off at once and drop the other side in as well. And then I know I've done them. The orange pipes that I cut off, they're going to be painted copper. So we'll get them all sorted out. Get these other panels done. Remember the poly caps to go in there to attach the hand. So we'll have them. And it's backwards and forwards, just gathering all the little bits and bobs that we want for this. But this little pipe, that'll be copper. So yeah, you're getting, especially when I'm trimming these off, I'm getting to see the pieces close up almost for the first time, and I'm getting to see, well, yeah, that would be perhaps stainless, that would be steel, that would be like an iron, that would be a brass or a copper. So yeah, and then obviously on the outside panels, your decorative pieces would be brass. The panels, you know, there'll be some wood texture going on some of them because, you know, that's what they're made of. And yeah, it's quite wild in a way. It's in my head, I've got almost an image of the finished model already, and It's how to get it there. It's what to use, how to achieve that, and this is the fun part for me. Is that challenge? So that's why this episode pretty much is what's in the box and the planning. It just lets you see how me planning stage goes. You know, I sit in hangouts, or I'll do what I'm doing here, just talk through it as I'm thinking, and ideas pop into my head, and then I'll quickly note them down somewhere so I don't forget them. Loads of post-it notes that I stick inside the instructions with different little ideas. Might be a sketch, you know, it might just be a list of paints that I'm doing for that particular section. It could be, well, I'm going to be adding some ailerons or removing a section and putting a grille in. So I just quickly scribe down what my thinking is with a little sketch of what the piece looks like and where the grille's going to go. Because by the time you come to build it, you may have forgotten or lost your train of thought. So for me, it just works for me. It keeps a note of what my plan was, what my idea was at the time for that build. And it then helps me when I come to build it to have that to refresh my memory. So that's how I do it. It works for me. It might be something that works for you guys and girls, so have a go. You know, have a try, you know, and if that helps you remember stuff, then hey, job's a good one. So we've got the upper part of the foot going in, both sides. Do I need anything else off of this bad boy? Not sure at the moment, so I'll just put that to one side. We'll need these, so we'll just chop these pieces away. Tops of the shoe brackets. There should be a rear section, which is there. I have a duplicate of this sprue, so we'll do the same for the other side. And grab them bits. I'll do that whilst I think of it. So it's the same here for that foot. Grab them. And we could probably start looking at the upper leg. Get that in. Drop that in. Put that in place. Over there. And then it's the same for this. I think it's his shin actually. So it's part of his leg anyway. And then go through, get the poly caps in there. Make sure I'm getting the right ones, because some are slightly bigger than others, but they only fit one way into the kit anyway. So even if you've got different sizes in your compartment, the mould will only accept one. So that's all I tend to remember when I do them. Just grab the other bits there, little shrouds and things like that, little pipes and detritus, and get as many of these bits in there. Some of the bits that are staying on the sprue are going to be for the wings, so I shall leave them on the sprue because I shall build the wings and denub them later on in the build series. So we'll just grab all of the rest of the external body panels now for the leg. Put those components in, and then it's going to be knee shrouds and all of that, and then jet exhaust outtakes. So yeah, got quite a fair old bit done. I'm going to have pretty much the whole Gundam denubbed off the sprues in this episode, and then what I shall do is I shall do all of the denubbing side of it off camera. because it's pretty much going to be a repeat of what I'm doing here now. I know this episode is pretty much been cutting stuff off sprues, but I've got a few noobs in my little community that are intrigued as to how this process works. They normally take a piece off the sprue as they need it, so for them, disassembling or having a whole complete Gundam off the sprues like this without anything being joined together is new to them. So for those, that's why I've done this episode, so that they can see how you go about it. You have an arm, you have a leg, you have your torso, you have your head, you then have another arm, and then you have the other leg. It lets them see how this concept works. Because it's like anything, you can sit and explain it, but until people have physically seen it. And, if that encourages them to have a go at doing it this way, then fine. For me, it saves time. Because once it's all denubbed, I can just work on a compartment at a time and modify it. Get the inner frame built for that area. Do the mods. And then before I know it, I've got all the inner frame modded. I've not had to worry about cut, denub, because it's already done. So, apologies if this episode's been a little bland, but at least it's given you a chance to get an idea of what direction the build's going in and also this process. So hopefully it's helped those out that have requested it. It's a first for me. When I do my next Gundam, I shan't film this stage because it's already been filmed once. I shall just refer people back to it as to how this concept works. So we'll just finalise and get off the last remaining pieces of the sprue, and then we'll get ready to wrap this episode up. And already the next episode is going to be starting assembly of the inner frame and get that going and start getting the pipework done and modifying bits and pieces. So I shall film an arm and a leg to let you see how that goes, and the torso and that. And then, like I say, the other arm and leg we'll do off camera because it's only going to be a replication of what you've seen. So we'll get that all thought out and figured out and get all my chain ordered and get all that lot ready. But for the moment, this episode is nearly finished. We've got the shield there. Now this is where I'm going to be putting the grillage. I'm going to be putting it just where the point is. So I'm going to section out two halves there. I'll put a nice grill in there. Perhaps have something inside it. I don't know. Little engines or something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So I need to think that through. Because basically it's just a top and a bottom panel that join together to make a box, and I want to try and make it interesting. Might have some exhausts poking out, or I don't know. I need to just figure it out. So a bit of a persuasion fit to get all these bits in, but they're in there. Other bits have we got? A couple of little bits there to go on the shin. I think we're pretty much ready to wrap up this episode. So a big thank you for watching and persevering to the end of this episode. For those that requested me to film this process, hopefully you've got out of it what I mean, and that you've come away from this now confident enough to go and have a go yourself. I'm not going to do the wings yet, folks. As I've said, I shall do all of this separately for the 4 wings and lay it all out once I've got the inner frame built. So I shall come back and do them in a future episode. I might as well cut them off now and just stack them up in the box, but there's going to be 4 of these bad boys. I shall film one of them being modified, And then the others I should just get done off camera and then bring them in once they've been modified and are ready to be mounted. So remember, like and subscribe to the channel. You can also support the channel on patreon.com/Festa67's workshop. You can become a channel member by clicking the join button, and all of that gives you access to the 24/7 Zoom hangout where all the cool dudes and dudettes live. So I look forward to seeing you then.